If you look in the dictionary, right next to detailing, it says the art and science of the systematic rejuvenation of all surfaces. The science is just half of it. The passion is what drives the art. My first car I ever owned was a 1977 911S. You know, Saturdays, Sundays, the weekends were spent in the garage. I remember very distinctly my mom bringing down dinner every night to the garage, and me and Dad would eat in the garage, and Mom would not be happy about it. The beginning of cleaning cars and ultimately making that my day job, and my night job for that matter. But the beginning of it was to buy an Xbox 360, because my parents said, hey, it's, no, you snot-nosed kid, we're not buying you this Xbox that you can waste your time on. It was, so I had an option. I could either mow lawns or wash cars, and I like cars, and grass smells good, but I like the smell of gasoline. It was a slow, gradual process for me. It started, with washing cars, and then, I realized, like after I got on the internet, that there is a whole nother world that nobody in Roanoke, nobody in Southwest Virginia, knew about the science, and then turned the science of quality car care into an art, and really made that their passion, and there weren't many people doing it at that point. So after I got online and got on some online forums and everything, it exposed me to this, and then I said, wow, I didn't go to any training classes. I didn't do any of that. It was all reading something online and going out in my garage and trying it on my dad's car or my car, or somewhat teaching myself, but I couldn't have done it at all without the forums and the people. I made it a goal of mine, to become somebody that could take a car that somebody hadn't appreciated and hadn't maintained properly, and maybe they didn't even know how to maintain it properly. Odds are they didn't, and take it and turn it into something that was better than coming out of the showroom. It was better than when it came off the assembly line. It's something that I had no idea what the hell I was getting into, and how much money I was going to spend on detailing products throughout the next years of my life. Anybody can clean something. Anybody can take a rag and some Windex or some paper towels and clean it. But there are very few people that go back over it and will look at it and scrutinize their work and are willing to get feedback. Myself as a detailer and all my peers, a lot of us are our own biggest critics. Somebody once told me about a flow experience. In a flow experience, everything else melts away behind you. You're not thinking. You're not it's like a baseball player goes up to the plate, and he doesn't think about swinging the bat. It's second nature. He does it without thinking. I think at this point, I probably almost enter a flow experience every time I detail a car. Sometimes I look back, right before I set the alarm or whatever, or lock the door up, and I look back and I say, this is crazy. I remember when we'd set up a big tarp canopy, outside my house, and I detail cars outside, 100-degree heat. It sucked. And then, we cleared out, space or sold a car, and so I could detail a car in the garage or something. And now I look at this and I say, holy, wow, this is my dream. I've had this dream since I was 12 years old. At first, I was nervous about working on, I still remember the first Ferrari that I worked on. I still remember these monumental moments where, I took a leap up, and after you've done this for so long, I've been doing this for over 10 years, worked on thousands of cars probably. I have no idea the number. At the end of the day, the process is the same. Doesn't matter if it's a Ferrari or if it's a Honda Civic. There are certain steps that you take, and you can't skip any, and you can't try to speed them up. The time is the time. You can go as far as you want, but to do it right, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter what it is. When the customer looks at you and has a genuine appreciation for what you do, that's what makes it all worth it for me. Once you have the relationship with the person, and once they trust you, then you start to get a lot more done and take care of the cars to the best of your ability. I'm Daniel Wendell. I own Automotive Aesthetic. I detail cars.